Very happy to have you here. We have these monthly chats. My colleague Kansarina's got a slide with the archive, and she's also put it in the chat box of the past monthly chats. So if you missed, map viewer, survey 123, or another topic that we've featured in the last year or so, we've got an archive of all the recordings. And so feel free to tap into that resource. Kansarina, you've got an intro for our speaker today, right? And as well as a couple of other resources that you wanted to show next, I think.
Yes. Did you see my slide, Joseph?
Yeah, we're seeing the front improved sharing across organizations. Yep.
Right.
This is an exciting topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a capability that's been long waited by the users, how the ArcGIS Online collaborate with other ArcGIS Online. So we make it happen in the ArcGIS Online April updates. So now we excitingly bring the product manager, Kelly Guerrero, to present to us the capability to demo how it works, and also we're gonna talk or discuss what is the scenario that may applicable to this, and what is the difference between the older way that you probably invite somebody to your group, what the difference with that and the partner collaborations as well. All right, with that, then we're gonna turn it over to Kelly. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Excellent. Hi, Kelly Giroux Wilcox. I am lead product manager for ArcGIS Online. And yeah, today I'm going to be presenting about partnered collaboration. We've been working on this, and actually I recognize quite a few people on this list who I've probably talked to about partnered collaboration. And it's this exciting new functionality that might not seem that new kind of as we go through things, but it really is kind of the next level of sharing to really make it possible to work across organizations with each other. So I'm going to go through just, I guess, kind of some theory behind partnered collaboration. And then what I'm going to do is go through two scenarios that I think are applicable to the education space, then hopefully have some time for questions. So yeah, I look forward to chatting with you all. So the first thing, what are we going to do today is we're going to talk about sharing data and apps across organizations. So really what this is going to focus on is partnered collaboration. But really with ArcGIS Online, partnered collaboration is still sharing items in ArcGIS Online. We'll go through some of the brief differences between partnered collaboration and distributed collaboration, and then some of those topics about what we need to do to get set up. So the first thing I think is to start back at sharing items. And I have structured this assuming that everyone is familiar with sharing. Because this does build on it. We present it in a bit of a different way if you haven't done sharing before, but since this is a transitional group, going from kind of what was to what is, I'll cover some of the basics too. So really ArcGIS Online traditionally has had 3 sharing levels. So we've had the ability to share content privately, share content with the organization, and share content with everyone. The finest way of actually sharing content was group sharing, and that's where you could create a group and just share content with that group, and whoever was in that group could see that content. You could also share something with the organization in a group. So if you say, hey, I just want to share this with the organization, everyone who's a member of that ArcGIS Online organization can see the content. And then they're sharing with everyone. So when you share with everyone in the public anonymous world can see your content. And there we go, we're adding some more people into the groups. So with collaboration, really what we're doing is establishing a formal relationship between 2 organizations to allow them to work more closely. And what this does with the sharing model is it kind of opens up that privilege, some of those capabilities that are reserved just for sharing within the organization to sharing with other specific organizations. So with partnered collaboration, we're still sharing content. With each other by reference. We have had distributed collaboration in the past, and really what that allows you to do is, and from an ArcGIS Online perspective, is move content between systems. So you can manage content in one system, being ArcGIS Enterprise, have that copied up to ArcGIS Online on a regular interval so it can be accessed through your ArcGIS Online organization. With partnered collaboration, we're really talking about sharing through ArcGIS Online organization groups with a specific organization or with many. So again, with distributed collaboration, it's really about moving content from one system to another. Whereas with partnered collaboration, it's really about the items and members who are working together through groups. So working through groups, it might seem really familiar to what you've done before. Is sharing really collaboration? And the answer is yes, it always has been, but there's always been some friction in terms of getting the right people into groups, sharing with the right people, and managing those groups. So really partnered collaboration gives the group owners and the ArcGIS Online administrators the ability to have some kind of superpowers for collaborating with specific groups. So really what has happened with partnered collaboration is once a partnership is set up, there's a new membership setting. So as you can see here, before the release, there was just the option for who can be in this group of my organization's members only, or any organization's members. And now we've opened up the capability to have partnered collaboration and my organization's members only. So really what this does is it establishes that formal relationship and gives the people who are participating in those types of groups some additional power, some additional capabilities, like participating in shared update groups and being able to add members to the group right away. And I'll go through those kind of extra capabilities in more detail. It's a little bit easier to understand as we go through a scenario. So if we look at what's changed, really, there's a couple things that have changed that have come in with partnered collaboration, but they're available in different places. So one of the new things is a new user privilege, and that is the ability to add members from other organizations. So this is a privilege that is assigned to users through roles. It's included in the publisher privilege. It's included in the new facilitator privilege. But really what it does is it allows members in one organization to directly add members from a partnered organization into a group if they're a collaboration coordinator. Again, we'll get into collaboration coordinators. There's also a new group capability, which is really members being able to add members from your organization and your partnered collaboration. There's a new designation for users called a collaboration coordinator. And this really identifies the people who you want to be your liaison for all partnered collaborations moving forward. And then we have a new organization affiliation. And really what that is it's a label and a tag that shows members in participating partnered organizations which organization those users are coming from. In the past, and still today, we do have member visibility, member profile visibility that does impact who can see your username and how you can find users, which was a piece of friction before for adding members. It's something to still be aware of, especially if you're searching for users, but there are a few different workflows to work around this. So there's still the ability to have your member profile as private. And really what this would mean is only administrators in your organization can find members with a private, with the private setting for their profile setting. No one can search without their new username. All right. Then for the organization, and this is the default for every organization, every member profile, anyone can look and search for those members in their organization. So with partnered collaboration, once a partnership is set up, and if the organization grants the ability to search for members, then members in another organization can search and find members in a partnered organization. And then if the profile is shared with everyone, anyone can search for that member in ArcGIS Online. So there's a couple new roles and designations that we're going to want to pay attention to with partner collaboration. So the newest role is the facilitator, and really what the facilitator is it's a user role in the organization that comes with some additional privileges to the publisher, including the ability to invite partnered collaboration members, and also the ability to own and create shared update groups. So those are really good for projects where people are working together. There's also a new group designation called collaboration coordinators, and they really are the people that represent the organization in partnered collaborations. To be a collaboration coordinator, the member needs to have the administrator role or the facilitator role, and they really need to have their public profile to be visible, so shared by everyone in order to be effective. And then after collaboration is set up, really it's group sharing. So the same rules of groups applied. Members are able to see content in the group. When members leave a group, the content leaves with them. And to find the content in those that's shared in those partnered collaborations, members need to go and search for it through groups. So if it's really just group sharing again, what's the real difference with partnered collaboration? And there's kind of 4 big benefits for setting up a formal partnership or a partnered collaboration. And so 1, it's the ability, which is a configurable option, to search for members in a partnered organization. 2, it's the ability to use a shared update group with members from a partnered organization. So beforehand, a shared update group that was reserved for only people in the same organization, it is now possible to create these types of groups with an organization that's participating in a partnership. There's improved member and content management with collaboration coordinators, and then there's the ability to view the external members. So these are just a couple screenshots to show you some of these capabilities, but you can see here with member visibility, this is the setting that you would toggle when setting up the partnered collaboration to see whether or not you actually want to allow other organization members to search for your members. Group designations, this is really an option that only becomes available if you have selected the option to create a group that only allows members from your organization and partnered organizations. Collaboration coordinators, and I'll go into kind of how to set those up, but this is something you set up at the administrative level. And then if you see at this bottom screenshot here, we've got the affiliation. So one of the great parts of collaboration is you can find out which organization members are a member of. You can also filter based on the affiliation. So it's really easy to find all of the users from one specific organization that are participating in a group. So to start up a partner in collaboration, and this is probably the most unexciting part of partnered collaboration, and it really can only be done by an administrator. And for my demos, I'm going to have this all set up, but we'll just kind of go through what the interface looks like here. But basically, you just put in the URL for the organization that you're going to be collaborating with. You specify whether or not you want to grant the ability for them to search for the organization members, and you send a message. And really that just sends an invite over to the administrators in the other organization for them to accept. And once all of the members accept, the collaboration is set up, and the users in your organization have access to these additional capabilities. You can also set up collaboration coordinators, and this is really where you specify who those people are in your organization that you're going to want to represent you in the organizations, especially in the cases where you don't want to grant access to search for your members. All right. And at the end of the collaboration, collaborations can end. So there's kind of two ways to end a collaboration. This is where you can review all of the content at the end of your collaboration to see what you want to do with that content, whether you want to unshare it or leave it shared, or you can just end a collaboration immediately, and you may lose access to some content that's been shared with you. All right. So this again is just kind of going over the advantages of partnered collaboration, and then I think we're going to jump into some actual demos in a second. And when we start to set up a partnered collaboration, you may have noticed that I've said a lot of things in a lot of different words, and sometimes it can be really confusing on how to set this up, because there are so many different ways that you can work with other organizations and privileges to really refine what you want to do. So it's really important when you think through your partnered collaboration or setting something up that you establish what you really want to do with this partnership, and then configure the settings on the groups or the collaboration exactly how you want to enable your members. And I'll provide kind of these two most classic examples to go through. But here are some examples of things that people want to do in the education space. So sometimes my students want to gain real work experience by securely working on a project with a sponsor. Partnered collaboration will actually allow those users, if the sponsor does have an ArcGIS Online organization, to work directly with the data that's in the sponsor's organization without needing to move the content back and forth. My students want to work with students from other universities, so you can set up a partnership so that students can work with students. Sometimes you want to collaborate with members in the university systems or facilities organization, which are two separate organizations, but you want some easy sharing through there. For events, this can be really helpful to create kind of one large group that people are feeding content into. And then also creating, let's say, a large data repository for multiple universities, so everyone can share their own content and students can access it. So the two scenarios that I'm going to talk through are a project collaboration. So this is really where two people are working together to create things with shared content, and then a data resource collaboration. So that's really where you're providing content for other people to use. So let's take a look at project collaboration. Okay. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is project collaboration. And the goal of this collaboration is really going to be to research and present information comparing different social distancing policies, their enforcement and effectiveness at a public race. So in this scenario, we're going to use my schools that I had when I was in university, being Carleton University and the University of Ottawa. And we actually have two students who are going to be working together and sharing content and creating content together. So we've got one organization being Carleton University, the other one being the University of Ottawa. And you can see here, we've got this big circle which represents a group, and we're going to call it the Social Distancing 104 Project Group. So we've got our student Christina, and she's got some content being facilities layers and a policy workflow layer that she already has in her as her content. And then Derek, he has similar content, but it's his own layers, his own content. And so for the project outcomes, they actually want to be able to use feature layers. They want to create a resulting analysis and then create some web maps and story maps together, which use content from both organizations. So there's two goals there. If we take a look at kind of what they're trying to do, the project outcome, they need to create a combined web map. They want to perform analysis on the layers, and then they probably want to share the material publicly upon completion. If we take a quick look at who these users are, we've got Christina. She's a member of Carleton University, she's a publisher. Her profile visibility is accessible to everyone. Sorry, not to everyone, to the organization. Because she's going to be participating in a partnered collaboration, they'll be able, the the participants will be able to search for her. We've got Derek. He's part of the University of Ottawa. He happens to be a collaboration coordinator, but that's going to be used in the second scenario, but it's all right. He is one. He's a facilitator and his profile is visible to everyone. So they're going to create some content. So if we look at the steps to set up this partner collaboration, the first thing is partner collaboration is going to be established between Carleton University and the University of Ottawa by the organization administrators. In this scenario, the ability to search for other users is going to be enabled. If we go back to this, this diagram, we really want to facilitate Derek and Christina working together without having to have an instructor or someone else kind of facilitating this. So that's why the ability to search for users in the other organization is going to be enabled in this scenario. The steps to work together, Derek, who's a facilitator, is going to create a group with update capabilities. He's going to search for Christina and send the group invitation. Then Derek and Christina can both share their layers and start to work on the project. So if we take a look at what the collaboration is going to look like, these are really the group settings, and I'm going to set this up as a demo in just a second, but you've got these for your reference later on. And the big key configuration settings here are to have this group membership as partnered collaboration and my organization's members only. And then you're able to create this group designations of shared update capabilities. And this designation is going to allow both Christina and Derek to work on the same story maps, applications, and maps. So they're going to be able to edit each other's content, which is really the purpose of this project collaboration. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like. I am going to log in as quite a few different users. So bear with me if it gets a bit confusing. But I have put some banners at the top to outline who I'm acting as right now. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is how the partnered collaboration was set up. So I'm logged in, we're going to say from the University of Ottawa as an administrator. And then I've already got these partnered collaborations set up, but I do want to go through the settings so that you can all see them. And so if we take a look at the collaboration, this is exactly the workflow that I showed earlier in the slides. You just have to put the homepage URL in, grant access, and send a message. I already have this established with Carleton University, so we can just take a look at what the settings look like. So as you can see here, I started this collaboration in March. I've granted the ability for the other organization to search for members. And I actually have, and these are some of the groups that members are already participating in through the collaboration. So I have this set up. We can take a look at my collaboration coordinators. So this is really who I, as an administrator, am designating as collaboration coordinators for my organization. So it's pretty straightforward to designate collaboration coordinators, and you don't need to do this. Basically, you set up collaboration coordinators to exist. You don't need to set them up for each collaboration, although you can. But we really do recommend having some people that are those liaisons for collaborations. As you can see here, we only show the people that are eligible, so they're administrators or facilitators, and then we just select them, which makes them available and searchable for other organizations. So this is really the whole step to set up the partnered collaboration, and there's now partnered collaboration with the search capabilities between Carleton University and the University of Ottawa. I'm going to sign out as the administrator because we no longer need these capabilities, and really it's up to the users now to make a benefit of the collaboration that's been set up. All right, so I'm going to sign in as Derek, who again is the facilitator and part of, I've timed out. And he is, he's going to be, since he's a facilitator, he's going to be the one that creates the group. And again, he's a member of the University of Ottawa. So we'll go ahead and start by creating a group. I'm going to just call this social distancing project. And again, this is the kind of key configuration option. I'm saying that it's for partnered collaboration. Who can be a member of this group? Partnered collaboration and my organization members only. I'm going to say that people can only join by invitation. Who can view this group? I'll just say all of my organization members. And who can contribute to contribute content. Because I'm working with one other person on this, I want all of the members in the organization, sorry, all of the members participating in the group. So really just this one other person I'm working with to be able to share content and contribute content to the group. Now, because I have all of these settings set up, I am going to enable the shared update designation. I just go ahead and I save this. And it should look just like a group. Awesome. So let's take a look at the invitation experience. So now I have the ability to invite users. And as per usual, I can search for my members first in the organization, being the University of Ottawa. So these are all the people that I could invite from my organization. But I know I actually want to invite someone specific from a different organization. So I'm going to switch off the search. I'm going to switch on the ability to search all ArcGIS Online organization members. And you can see here that I've got my partnered collaborations. The member I'm looking for isn't a collaboration coordinator, so I'll turn that option off. Click on Carleton University, and I know that I want Christina. So perfect, I've got Christina here. I'm going to go ahead and invite her to my collaboration. Awesome. Also, I'm going to share some content with this collaboration so that Christina can use it once she's accepted the invitation. Also, it will make my demo go a bit faster. So I'm going to share the facilities layer with this group. So again, sharing with a partnered collaboration, it's the same as group sharing. So I'll just hit edit group sharing. You can see here with the badges that these are partnered collaborations. So this actually tells us that this is a group that allows members from a partnered organization and your organization only. And I can also see that it's a shared update group. So these little badges give me some information about the group that's being is being used. I'll now go ahead and share this layer. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to switch over to Carleton University, and I'm going to be signed in. So I am signed in, as you can see, as Christina. I'm just going to refresh it to make sure that I have my new group invitation. But as you can see, I'll just go over here. I'll see I've been invited to a new social distancing project. Excellent. And I'm going to go ahead and join this group. Great. So now myself and Derek are participating in a partnered collaboration group. So I can go into this group. And again, I'm Christina now. So I can open up Derek's facilities layer. I'm going to open it in the Map Viewer Classic because I want to run a quick analysis on it. So as you can see, I've got a couple points here. And again, this is a layer that is owned by Derek and is just shared with this group. I'll go ahead, create some buffers. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to save this web map. Perfect. And as you can see, the buffers have successfully run. Now, if I go back to my content, you'll see that I, Christina, have created the buffers and a facility map in my own content from the content that Derek had shared. So I'm going to go ahead and share this back with the group, being the social distancing project, so Derek can also access this. Fantastic. All right. So now I'm going back again, switching back over to being Derek. If I go to my group, you'll see that I have content from both Christina and from Derek in this group. I'll go into it. And now that all of this content and this map and these facilities are all in this group, I can start to create content that actually features this. So let's say I want to go and create a story map. And these edits aren't going to be very exciting, but it's really just to show kind of what you can do here. So if I go to story maps, I'll create a new story. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to include that map that that Christina shared. I'm going to include the map. All right. And then I can go ahead and publish. And I'm going to also make sure that I share this story map back with the social distancing project group. Excellent. All right. So now I'm going to go back as Christina. And I'm going to go into this group and show you that I can now update the story map that Derek was actually creating. So if I go into this group, I can go here. We see Derek owns it, but I'm signed in as Christina. And I can actually open it with the ability to edit. I can change the title. Or add some new information to the story map, like some images. And this is how we can collaboratively build a story map together, kind of from two different organizations. So I can go ahead and hit publish. And now we have a collaborative kind of working group where both Christina and Derek can share content and have it updated and work on it together until they've completed their project. All right, that is the example of here we go, of kind of project collaboration. I don't know if there's questions right now or if I should go on to the next section.
Kelly, we'll leave it up to you. We've got about 6 or so really pointed, wonderful questions showing up, which Rena and I can relay to you if you don't have to rearrange your screen. So it's up to you, whether you want to address those now or later.
Okay.
Oh, wow. We can read them if you like, Kelly.
Yeah, we can read them so you don't have to.
I'll go on to the next one and then we'll answer those at the end because there's some other capabilities that I think we're hinting at in some of these questions that I might address. Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So the next resource or the next kind of workflow that we're going to look at is a data resource collaboration, or a central repository of resources. And this workflow really concentrates on kind of, I'm going to say, more restricted sharing. So in this scenario, we're going to have 3 universities that are creating collaborative data sets together. So in this scenario, I've got Carleton University again, University of Ottawa, and the University of Redlands. And they all have some different content that they want to share into this group so that all of their students can have access for it to perform projects. This is really where the collaboration coordinator is going to come in, because as you can see, I've designated the collaboration coordinators with the little hats. In this scenario, Derek doesn't necessarily know who any of the students are in Carleton University organization, or vice versa. So they're really going to depend on that collaboration coordinator in order to manage the memberships of the organization and share content. We also don't want just anyone sharing content into the group, because it's a really easy way to just get content called test 1, test 2. So we're really going to set it up so that kind of only the collaboration coordinators and group managers are actually able to share the content with the group. The students and anyone participating in the group is then going to be able to create their own content with these layers, but they won't be able to share that back with the group. It's really just going to be their own personal content. So this collaboration looks a little bit different. We do have 3 partnered collaborations that need to be set up. So one between Carleton University and the University of Ottawa, one between the University of Ottawa and the University of Redlands, and then one between Carleton University and the University of Redlands. So these are 3 separate relationships that need to be set up, but once all of these relationships are set up, they can all work together in a single group. And so this is where collaboration coordinators really come in to play, because they can be easily found, and then they can also be promoted to group managers. Some benefits of being a group manager is that group managers can add members from their organization directly to a group. So this makes it really easy for a collaboration coordinator or representative from one university to really just manage who's going to be participating in that group. And then they can also be designated as a content share, and they can modify the group settings. In this scenario, I'm going to set it up so that the organizations actually can't search for members. So they're only going to be able to find their designated collaboration coordinators when they are setting up a collaboration. And I would say that this might be, in this scenario, course instructors who are really being those collaboration coordinators or those managers, and they would be the people managing the content and the members coming into this group. So again, here are the quick configuration steps. Setting up the 3 partnered collaborations. Again, they cannot search for members. And then once these are set up by the administrators, the steps to work together are pretty straightforward. So Derek's going to create a group, and this group is not going, actually, I think I'm going to change it up so it's Sydney, but this group is not going to have shared update capabilities. I don't want people editing the data. I don't want people working on content together. This data really is going to be the source of truth for this data repository. So it really is kind of a read-only collaboration scenario. Derek's going to add collaboration coordinators to the group, and then the collaboration coordinators can add their students to the group, and then they can share content. So we'll take a look at what this actually looks like. So I should be able to get out of here. So we'll start, again, as the administrator, I'm going to say of the University of Redlands organization. So if we go and take a look at the settings, or the collaboration settings, we can see that I've got 2 collaborations set up. I have Carleton University, and we can see that we can't search for members in the organization. I can see who their collaboration coordinators are. Same with the University of Ottawa. And then if we were to, I don't think I'm signed in as an administrator anywhere else. Nope. But if we were to go back in and to the other organizations, you would see the exact same settings set up. Also, my collaboration coordinators here, I've got Sydney Bristow. She's going to be the person who's setting up this collaboration in this scenario. So I'll go ahead and log in. So in this scenario, I'll go ahead and I will create a group. Oh, and it looks like I already created one. I'm just going to delete this one. All right, so I'll create a group and I'm just going to call it Inter-University Sharing. All right, I'm going to set this up so that only partnered collaboration members can join and my organization's members. So this will make sure that it really is just members who are supposed to be participating in this group are participating in this group, and they are coming from kind of a verified organization or an organization that you've set up a partnership with. Who can view this group? That's all right. Everyone can view the group. It's just not everyone can join the group. And here's another key setting that we need to set is who can contribute content. And this one, we really need to say only group members and managers. This is really going to allow the collaboration coordinators and the group managers to have that control over the group. For who can see the full list of members in this tab, I'm going to say anyone can view the full list of members, but know that you can turn this off, and it might be a workflow that you would want to follow, especially if you're looking to kind of protect the identity of students participating in the collaboration. I don't want to turn on the shared update capabilities group, this isn't an administrative group, so I'll just go ahead and save. So this is where the experience gets a little bit different in this scenario. So really, if I'm looking at inviting users, I'm going to go ahead and I know that I'm looking specifically for collaboration coordinators. So the first one from Carleton University, I know I want to add Jason Ronaldo, who's going to be my collaboration coordinator. When I'm adding a collaboration coordinator to a group, I actually have the ability to just add the member without requiring a confirmation. So this is very powerful in that Jason is just going to be a member of that group. This is a special privilege that you get when you are a collaboration coordinator participating in this type of group. And it takes kind of the accepting of the invitation out of the requirements to set up this collaboration. So I've got Jason, and I'm also going to add Derek, again, because I've got partnered collaboration set up with these organizations and their collaboration coordinators. I can just add them directly to the group. Awesome, they are now members of my group. If I go to the members, I also want them to be managers so that they can share content with the group and also manage their members. So I'll go ahead and I'll update their member group role to a manager. And now they have some additional capabilities. So if I log in as Jason now, as Jason, I can share content into this new group because I am a member and I'm a group manager. But more importantly, I can easily manage my students and add them into the organization without requiring them to accept the invitation, which can be a bit of a struggle. So if I go into the actual group as a collaboration coordinator and as a group owner, I can invite users to the group. So you couldn't do this from another organization beforehand. I want to only search for people within my organization. So this is where I could find if I had it worked out so that I have classes or something along those lines, you can just pick who those members are and then add them all to a group. So let's say I want to, let's pretend this is a Geography 101 class. I can just easily go ahead and check all of these members and then add them to the organization. So they're now members of this group. I can see who they are, and they can now access all of the data that I've shared. If I go in kind of as a different user, so I'm Carleton University here, I'm going to move over to the University of Ottawa here as Derek. I can go into this group and add all of my students. So I can't add all the students from another organization, but I can add the students from my organization to the group. So here I am. I'm going to go into my group. I could have shared content with the group, but I didn't. And we can see the members. I can easily identify where these members are coming from. This is not the right group. Maybe this is the right group. All right, I may have confused myself. I've added them to the wrong group. Sorry, this is what happens when you set up a lot of different groups and content. Okay. Especially when you do the demo before the demo. All right, I'll go ahead and re-add these people in here. I'm going to add them directly to this group. And now I should see all of the members that I was looking for. Excellent. And I can see which university they belong to. I'm at the University of Ottawa right now. So I, again, can go ahead and find quite a few people from my organization and actually add them directly to this group. So this is how you can really quickly create that central data repository for students. And then I have shared some of this information. So there is a blog right now. There will be more blogs, and then there's some documentation. But yes, that is the finale. I'm ready for questions now.
Oh, Kelly, this has been wonderful. You know, people have been asking and wondering about this for a long time, so this is much appreciated. There are some pointed questions in here. Robert had one of them that I thought was especially wonderful, and that is, if one or both orgs involved in the partnered collaboration has SAML enabled, identity management, et cetera, how does that factor in? Does it factor in? Do both partners need to have the same identity management configuration, or does that not matter at all? What would you say to that?
It doesn't matter at all from a user management standpoint, and from a permission standpoint. Really, the only place that it would matter is if you need to be on VPN or something in order to access the single sign-on. So really, you don't need to be on the same system. Once that it's just that the single sign-on will manage the logins for the users, but it's completely the same as if here we go, as if yeah, they're using built-in logins.
Okay, super. Yeah, because more and more universities are using that single sign-on. So much appreciated. Rena, do you want to take another one of these?
Yes, I think that is a good question from Peter here. Is there a way to utilize partner collaboration without the admin having to get involved? It is a lot of work for the administration, you know, but it maybe once you, I don't know, it's like the partner collaborate coordinator can can create that, or has to be admin at the first place?
Right. So the administrator needs to set up that partnered collaboration, so that relationship between the organizations. But after that has been set up, the users in the organization can access those capabilities. So creating groups, inviting members from partnerships. So it's really just that one step of setting up that collaboration that the administrators need to do. And then other members can access the other parts of the partnered collaboration and participate in them, create those types of groups, that kind of thing.
So do you see, Kelly, in the future, if partner manager or partner coordinator can actually do that as well, or always has to be admin?
It's going to be an administrative privilege because it is just such, you're providing access potentially to be able to search members in an organization. So that is something that will be restricted for administrators. But again, once the administrator has set that up, it really just comes down to creating groups and sharing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, if this is, I think Amber's question, if you scroll up a little bit, it's probably faster for you to just read Amber's question than me trying to translate it. But I thought Amber Ignatius had a good one then, a couple of scenarios that Amber is putting forth here. Do you see that one, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, I'm not like it sounds like there's an issue in this scenario if it's just infinitely hanging. And it looks like it has to do with copying. I'd get in touch with tech support on that one. That like with copying content, depending on how you're copying content, there can be some things that don't get copied correctly. So I just make sure that you get in touch with tech support about that.
Would you say that collaborative groups are the best method to copy content from one organization to another?
There's no copying capabilities with the collaborations. So it really is just accessing items by reference. So if you do have copying workflows in there, you're still going to have to use the copying workflows however you're doing it right now. Like
GeoJob or AGO Assistant, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
We may be looking into that kind of in another kind of rev of collaboration. So the second version of it, but that's probably like a year down the road.
Yeah, Kelly, I think there is still confusion about the seeing the member here. So I'm gonna combine question from Richard and Stacy here. Can the facilitator be restricted to see members for certain partner?
No. So the way that it's set up is you can set it up so that you can search members in the organization, or you can't. And if you can't, then we suggest if you don't want kind of the other organization to be able to search for those members, that's where you want to use collaboration coordinators to manage those members. Because then it's really that person who's already inside the organization that can search them. But there is no way to say you can only find these specific members. You can say that about collaboration coordinators. So really, if you want someone to be findable, but not a but you don't want them to be able to be searched, then they're going to need to be a collaboration coordinator.
Can actually the other coordinator give just the ID of that user, like Christina ID? And then instead of searching for Christina, here, this is Christina username, can you just add it?
Yeah, you can still invite people just via username like you could with anonymous or private users with group sharing. So you can still do that. It's just they'll have to accept the invitation. But that's still possible.
With the partner as well, with the partner group, you can still do it.
Yep, you can still do it.
All right.
Just scanning the chats once again.
Is this my question, Kelly? In order to enable edit capabilities of the items, do you need to make the members searchable?
No.
No.
Okay. You don't have to, but It could be, I guess, getting people into the group could be challenging. But again, if you take the two workflows that I demonstrated, being the shared update capabilities, and you put a collaboration coordinator in there to manage the membership, then you can add members that way.
Okay. Any other questions, or feel free if you want to unmute and talk as well. There is a question from Jeremy here. Does a collaboration manager have to specifically have the facilitator role, or it can be a custom role based on the facilitator role with some extra permission?
Right now, it needs to be a facilitator role or the administrative role. But if you have an example of what those permissions would be, please let me know, because we can take a look at that. There are a couple key privileges that you need in order to successfully be a collaboration coordinator, which is why we've recommended using the facilitator or administrator role. But again, we're more than willing to hear feedback about additional privileges or custom roles.
Awesome. I think there is just a couple of comments in the chat. Is there anything I missed, Joseph?
No, Kelly, could you maybe show the resource for how do I learn more about this and dig deeper one more time? That'd be great. We're going to have this archived, folks, just like we have all of the monthly chats archived. But if you don't mind, Kelly, that would be swell. Ooh,
Yep.
Thanks. Okay.
So there's a blog written by yours truly, and then there's some documentation. There again, with partner and collaboration, because there are so many different kind of permutations. There are going to be some other blogs coming out about specific workflows, because yeah, you guys brought up some good new ones too. So
Kelly, this is Amber again. I just wanted to say thank you for going over everything. I'm a little embarrassed. I don't know if I understand the shared content. Say there's two different organizations. Does one organization really share this, own the story map, and then the other one is just collaborating on it?
yeah, so the ownership still exists. It's really who can access it and who can update it. So whoever is the owner owns that content, but the other people can work on that content.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Gosh, as always, we've got lots of great thoughts and ideas here. I would love to hear back from you folks in the community as you navigate your way into these waters. What you think? You know, we're always wanting to improve the tools, but would love to see some examples on down the road of people actually using this effectively in education. So
yeah,
thanks for being here, folks.
Yeah, that's true. And Kelly, there's one last question here from Harry Johnson. Can you change ownership from one organization to another?
No, not right now. So the content needs to stay in the organization it originated in.
Okay. And if you want to change the ownership of the partner group, you still can do it like normal, change the ownership, Kelly?
Yes, but with shared update capabilities groups, you can't change the ownership, so you'd have to create a new group.